Thunderdome, we have the NASCARs coming out onto the circuit now for their major event of today. And that is, of course, the 125-lap Christmas Classic. At the moment, the Ford pace cars bringing the field around, and it is a crackerjack field here today at Calder. 25 starters for the 125-lap journey. We have the spectators just about ready to stand and cheer to all the drivers and wave caps and everything else as they come down the start-finishing straight. And as they do, let's take a look at the lineup here today. Pole position from Lost Creek in West Virginia, Rodney Combs in the Saxon Heater Chevy. From position number 2 and 26, Terry Byers of Wollongong. In the Bob Jane T-Mart's Pontiac from 3, it's car number 8, Charlie O'Brien in the Oldsmobile. From 490, the second of the Americans, Jeff Fuller in the NASCAR Pontiac. From 5, it's 55, Sydney's George Elliott. From position 6 in car number 3, the Valvoline Pontiac. Your driver is Alan Grice. From 7 in 109 from the USA, Terry Fisher in the Midgley Pontiac. From 8, number 11, Pride of Tasmania, Robin Best. From 9, it's car number 7, Barry Blake from Western Australia. From 10, 23, Ian Thomas from Cairns. They're the top 10 as we take our wheel cam. Now we're riding on the outside of the front row, Terry Byers, Mark Woodley, John Joyster and Charlie Busby putting together this great view. That's the outside of the front row. And there off to the left you can see Rodney Combs. That's our Bob Jane T-Mart race cam. Rodney Combs carrying 2 units, one on top of the hood of the Saxon Heaters entry. And if we want to go inside and have a look at what Rodney's doing at the office this afternoon, all we do is trip one switch. And there he is, the pole sitter for today. The former Marlborough Grand National winner many times in Sydney on the short tracks at Liverpool. A face that is well known by all the short track followers of Australia. It's time to go racing in the 125-lap NASCAR Christmas Classic, and away they go. The green flag is out, and it's Combs to the outside with Terry Byers dropping in, and Charlie O'Brien away to a very quick start on the inside. Jeff Fuller is up. Gricey also a very good start in the Valvoline Pontiac, and they'll come off turn number 2 and work the back straight. Combs won't be sitting around waiting for anyone. He's off and running. Byers into second, O'Brien is third, George Elliott is into fourth spot, Alan Grice on the inside, and Jeff Fuller the outside. They come in to complete the first lap, and there's only 124 to go.
25-car field, very strong entry for the NASCAR race at Thunderdome this afternoon. Look at Rodney Combs, the American, the experienced American. Got the right equipment under him now. He's really showing what he can do. Terry Byers in second place. Charlie O'Brien, the bright yellow car, in third. George Elliott, NASCAR man in fourth as they sweep onto the second banking.
All through the first couple of laps without incident. Walter Giles also making a great start in that very distinctive Hogs Press saloon entry, the pink car. You'll see that as we get through the race. Cars running fairly close together as they come past the grandstand going down into turn number 1. There's the gap, first over second, as we welcome Bradley Jones, the Oscar race winner, joining us for a little look at the NASCARs, and he plans on doing a little bit of this racing himself. Bradley, welcome aboard.
Thanks, Mike.
It's been like the Brad Jones show today.
Well, I think that's all about to change now. The NASCARs are out there, and they're certainly circulating quickly, aren't they?
Yeah, qualifying was a pretty tight contest. First 10 cars covered by less than a second. Rodney Combs 28.08 seconds. As we take a race cam, a nice new view of the Thunderdome from the side of Terry Byers' Pontiac. These big 1,600 kilogram NASCARs, about 600 odd horsepower. And you can see how much they're jumping
We're going to spin back in the pack, and there we catch it. And I think it's Phil Brock that's come off the wall. And it may have been Ken Laws in the number 6 machine.
He's gathered it up.
But Phil Brock, I think it was, coming into the pits now. Very distinctive looking car, great paint job. It's not as straight as it was about 5 minutes ago, and he's in for some very, very quick attention. In the meantime, Combs lines up. When we get a chance, we'll show you our action replay of what actually happened there. It was towards the back of the field. One down on the inside. That may well have been Laws, and that's Phil Brock, who's kissed the wall and somehow managed contact with those tail end cars to wind up back in his pit bay. A very lucky moment indeed for Phil Brock. We go back to racing green here at Calder Park Thunderdome. Rocket Rodney takes off in the Saxon Heaters machine going down into turn number 1. He tailed in there by Terry Byers. Queenslander Charlie O'Brien is next on the queue, and right behind him is George Elliott. Jeff Fuller of the United States is the next place driver, and then Terry Fisher. So the Americans certainly in the top 10 here today, as Combs leads them off 4. Once again back across the line. Black flag with a number going out to one of the drivers back in the pack. Not quite sure if he spotted it. They do have these stop-and-go penalties.
It's Grice. Now, that's a bit strange because he didn't get off the start very well, and I thought maybe he's having gearbox troubles or something, but they've given him a black flag, and he has to pit. Yep, he's coming into the pits now.
So Grice will go in and take a stop-and-go penalty. We'll clarify that, the reason for the penalty, as Grice heads down pit lane. I bet he's really wild about all of this, but he'll pull in.
The trick will be if he doesn't go down a lap.
Now, he's copped his stop and go, and he won't go down a lap. Providing he can wind it up quickly, he'll stay on the same lap. And the next time they have a yellow flag, he might be able to pick up that distance.
Well, he's just coming out of the pits now.
And there's another one, too, for someone.
Yep. Car 2.
Brock, who's already been in and out of the pits once since the restart, so he's obviously done something wrong as well.
And the word we have from race control was Grice was penalised for passing on the left on the restart.
Well,
that's all academic stuff, fellas, really.
Pretty tough.
A bit of movement there, Bradley.
It's amazing. You can actually see the car's got a little bit of a push in it going into the turn, and you can pick that up by the direction he's pointing the wheel. This is fantastic stuff.
From a driver's point of view, do you feel all that feedback through the wheel?
Well, yes, you do. You know you've got to put a little bit of correction in and when to get on the throttle, and he'll be thinking about how he's going to change the car on his pit stop. This is amazing vision.
Well, bad luck there for Tony Southwell. You can't really do a pit stop under the green here and play any part in a top 10 finish.
No.
Trevor Nicholson is in the pits, and Terry Byers is back in too, so that's the beginning of the end.
He's gone down another lap, so after looking so good so early, it's all gone away from Terry in the 26 machine.
It's a great shame. He qualified only about 3/10 off Combs' time in qualifying.
And our race leader is into the pits. Now, maybe he's cut down a tyre.
Could have. That's bad luck for Combs.
Race cam of Rodney Combs' Saxon Heaters Chevy Lumina.
He doesn't look to be in any sort of a hurry here.
No.
I wonder what the plan is.
Looks a bit casual.
Neither are the crew.
Well, there's nothing happening in the engine department. Is there?
No.
Stop and go? No.
Couldn't be.
It's behind
Round the
wall.
back, she's terminal.
They've got a motor problem.
That's bad luck for Rodney.
So Charlie O'Brien in the number 8 car leads them down the front straight with Elliott. Then Jeff Fuller of the United States. Giles doing a good job back behind them in the pink car. A shot of that later. That's got to be the wildest paint job I've seen here for the weekend. There's 1, 2, 3 going down the front straight. Byers coming back through the pack. Very, very fast indeed. He's closing at the moment on Ian Thomas in the number 23 car.
And that shows, as you said, Brad, there's a lot of hard work going on inside that car.
He's certainly going for it at the moment. He's got everything to gain, nothing to lose. So still a long race. If he can get to the leaders and pick a couple of laps up, who knows where he might finish.
There's some interesting here on the front straight as the leaders come through. O'Brien, right on his bumper is George Elliott and Jeff Fuller of the United States. Fuller just got almost the short back and sides from a lap car, had to ease out and get it straight, then attack once again. Now they're coming up behind another couple of slower cars. Brad said earlier, Elliott's car tending to push a little coming out of the turns, but I think he has a bit of a break in horsepower over Jeff Fuller.
It certainly looks very strong. But Jeff certainly got him covered in the turns. He's all over him.
great days. One thing one always has to compliment the Calder management about the transponders, the way they lap the cars here. The computer printout on each lap. The problem that we've got is that poor old Charlie O'Brien's transponder's broken down. Of course, the computer doesn't know the difference, so they don't show him on the leaderboard. But he is the leader, make no mistake about it. Car number 8. Elliott runs in second. 4 is back behind them. There's 3 of them, or 4 of them up into the wall.
And I think Terry Byers is involved in all that. Ian Thomas just has a big spin. Oh, the Falcon.
They're still hitting. 5, 6 cars involved there.
John Stefanik is 41. He's involved in that. Phil Brock goes to the pit lane. You can bank on there being a fair stoppage here to try and get rid of the wrecks. Ambulance very quickly on the scene down there. Might have a look at our action replay and see what we could pick from that. We were following the leaders through that turn, and it just happened a little behind them going in.
Bit of a touch.
Well, I think he was already gone before he got the touch. Is that not Brock? Phil Brock.
Spies up high, he's about to get it.
So at this stage, there's only 2 cars involved, but there's no road up there.
Now Byers just squeezes through there, but look at this.
Bulldozes his way
That's
through.
Ian Thomas. And now wait for the arrival of Jerry Bowers. Here it comes.
100 miles an hour, whack.
The back of the car clips.
So
it can be a lottery out there in situations like that. You can be half a lap behind the leader and still join an accident.
That's Terry Byers' car. Keep in mind he was up against the wall. And the cars single file come beneath our camera. Let's check out the Goodyear race score at the moment. Race leader Charlie O'Brien of Queensland. Second spot being held by George Elliott in the NASCAR Australian Chevy. Third is Jeff Fuller of the United States. Fourth, the man. Jeff coming up here behind Phil Brock. There's a bit of traffic in front of him. Let's see which side he goes. He does a good job. Threads the eye of the needle, goes straight between those 2 cars, but he can't get between these. Fisher goes the outside. Oops, and almost a tap on the black car there on the exit to the turn. Well, he lost out in that one, but that was pretty hairy stuff, though.
Well, that's, the chance you got to take, Mike, to take that open hole, and his hole closed up and Fisher's opened up, so, that's racing.
I think Phil Brock was the man who found himself right in the middle of all that. Probably just as well he kept it reasonably straight, because it would be an awful messy if he turned.
Well, I'm glad he did that time, because earlier there was, I think, a discrepancy on him, so he did a good job that time of letting him go by.
Car number 5, Max Dumsney, coming back through the pack. Not the best of weekends so far for Max, the current Australian Sprint Car champion, the winner of the ASC Series last year. There's Max, 32 years of age, lives in Sydney now, formerly...
Yeah, Mike, on Max Dumsney, I think the first time he come out, we had cars out here, and I let him get in that car, and he was quite comfortable in it, and he couldn't believe how quick he ran in about 15, 20 laps. So I was sort of, I guess, fault of getting him involved with this.
He, as I recall here, for his first 6 or 8 meetings, he had a habit of spinning, but never touching anything and catching it. And I complimented him on it here at the October meeting, and then he got spun from behind and then took out about 4 cars. They've had a lot of work to do on this machine.
Yeah, but John works hard, and they got it back, and I think the car's 100%. And they are off a little bit today, but they're here to stay, and they're going to be strong competitors.
I'd imagine there'd be a twofold problem involved in that, Mike. Number one, trying to find your limit in a car like this when you're used to a different brand of racing, and also just trying to get the car set up right. And car set up, Rodney. Oh, and look at this. Fuller in all sorts of strife. That was nice save, though.
It was a brilliant save.
Fabulous save. Well done.
I think he tapped on, we might even get that on replay later, whether or not he tapped on the back of Fisher, or just got a little bit loose there. He's picked up the pace again, going down the back straight. That'll drop him a couple of spots, but I'll tell you what, he's still got a straight race car.
Yeah.
Yes, he did a fine job. If you lock them brakes up and hold them, usually you won't get into trouble. So, he knew enough to save it and keep it out of trouble, and George Elliott did a fine job running on the outside of him.
Well, he's got away with that with a remarkably unscathed car. And he'll now, I guess, assess his tyres, Rodney, and get a feel. Let's take a look at that replay. He gets all out of shape. I'm not sure whether there was contact prior to all this happening. I think he just got in there and just went in too hot, turned her in, and was too loose in the backside, and away he went.
So Walter Giles, car number 91, brings out the yellow flag with about 15 laps remaining in this event. They'll do a number under yellow Terry Fisher, Carnival 09, continues to lead. He's had a good race so far, Terry Fisher. The yellow flag may well help Jeff Fuller to come up a couple of spots in the pack. Pace car still on the circuit, 6 laps to go when they resume racing, which will be in about another 10 or 15 seconds. There's our wheel cam with Terry Byers. Pace car ready to drop beneath the white line at the moment, and Terry Fisher will lead them away. George Elliott showing in second spot and Kim Jane in third. Bad luck for Jeff Fuller. He's gone to the pits as they've taken the green, and that enables Terry Fisher to get out and running. Charlie O'Brien up there into 4th place at the moment as they head down into turn number 1. Fisher looking the goods at this stage from George Elliott. Elliott solidly into a 2nd place, and Kim Jane looking good for a top 3 finish here today. O'Brien switches back inside of Barry Blake to round up 4th. As they come off turn number 4, Kim Jane getting a little excited behind George Elliott across the line with 5 laps to go. And the young American driver, Terry Fisher, 09, threatened to win this race here last year. He's in a far more comfortable position today. Gap opens up on the inside of George Elliott. Kim Jane was ready to take it, just couldn't do it. I'll tell you what, Elliott's car's got plenty of power as he closes on Fisher going down the back straight. And O'Brien getting right on the tail of Kim Jane. This is a good finish coming up, folks. Turn number 4, 4 laps to go. Race leader Terry Fisher of the United States, and George Elliott of Sydney is hot after him. Kim Jane runs in 3rd. And Queensland's Charlie O'Brien in 4th. A great finish coming up. Elliott could carve his way to the front here, although Fisher doing it very comfortably. And Charlie O'Brien to the inside of Kim Jane. Can't do much about it. Leaves a little opening. 3 laps to go. Anyone's race. The American driver, Terry Fisher, with Elliott right behind him. Now, if Elliott has got anything left in the way of acceleration, and he can pull the inside coming on the back straight, he's sitting right in his draft now. Nose to tail down the back straight, laps almost running out as O'Brien goes inside Kim Jane for 3rd. Now, whether George is just comfortable enough to finish 2nd, or he's got that killer instinct and a little bit sideways, very loose. 2 laps remaining as Charlie O'Brien, who's the big mover, has now worked his way up into 3rd place. He could make life unbearable for George Elliott with 1.5 laps to go. Fisher gets away by half a car length down the back straight, and I would think it could be Charlie O'Brien if he can find a little inside edge here on George Elliott. Down to take the white flag. 1 to go in the drink drive. 300 for NASCARs here at Calder Park this afternoon. Turn 1. Elliott goes in very deep and will lose out of that. He gets it sideways and he connects with O'Brien as they go down the back straight. Kim Jane goes via the grass trying to avoid contact with the wall.
He did it. He did it. Kim did a fine job.
Last turn. Checkered flag coming out. They're going to wave this one off, and that will take the flag. It goes to Terry Fisher of the United States. Doug Taylor, maybe, in the number 24 car, will pick up 2nd, and who knows, maybe even Max Dumsney had enough there to pick up 3rd. Terry Byers limps in, and that is what you call one heck of a finish. Let's have a look at the action replay and see what happened. As you can see, they tangled on the back straight. George Elliott was in there, Charlie O'Brien. Now, about this time, Kim Jane has got very little to go, and he's gone for the grass. He misses contact there, and then somehow avoids contact with Charlie O'Brien, does he? And comes back out onto
he did, Mike.
This is the better shot of it. Now, George Elliott got loose, ran into the side of Charlie O'Brien, and while this was happening, Kim Jane's looking for a spot to go and hide in. He gets down on the grass, goes between the 2 of them and the wall, wipes off the speed, and will probably finish up with a top 3 finish. Rodney, great for your company here today, and bad luck, commiserations. But